Hi everybody. I didn't do a 1 year video on the 15th for summer because I didn't really think about what I was going to put in my video. I want to actually go back to a year ago during a couple of things I found very interesting, and certain things that came out during the investigations and the videos and YouTube and everything else. One thing that really bothered me, well, a couple things. Firstly, Summer never ate that day. That bothers me greatly. Like, beyond greatly. She was already a tiny little 5-year-old girl, and they didn't eat anything. All they had was a slushie. Like, I'm sorry, but I've had a child and grandkids, and they're always hungry. Always. That bothered me greatly. Why did Candace never say anything about feeding her sons or feeding Summer? Or taking a lunch with her to the water, or stopping by McDonald's on the way to the hospital or back, or whatever. Why was there never any mention of food? And why doesn't LA be bothered by that? That's kind of interesting. Also, we're going to go back to the Chris McDonough interview, where Candace is point blatantly saying how there is no rocks in the water. There's nothing that she could get hurt on. Well, I'm going to give a shout out to another YouTuber, Blowhorn Betty. She did a video with a couple other creators, and they went in the water. And oh my God, y'all, it is fucking disgusting. There was huge rocks in there. There was sticks. There was dirt. There was glass. You couldn't even see the bottom of the water. So if Summer had gone into the water, probably H1 saw her, because you can't see not even an inch under the water. Like, what is a 5-year-old child that can't swim doing that? And there was drop-offs very, very close to shore. And it floors me that Candace would risk her daughter's life in going in that water. Like, to me, that's like a death sentence. Plus, you don't even know what kind of hazardous things that are in that water, because as dirty as it was, and apparently Blowhorn Betty said it stunk so bad. And you're going to bring a 5-year-old child into that water. Okay, that bothers me. And one other thing that not any creator I have heard yet bring this up, and this bothers me greatly. Now, we all know, we've all watched true crime videos and movies and documentaries, etc., etc., etc. Whenever there is a death, what's the first thing that the person that does something does? Oh, wash his clothes. Why? Because they're going to erase evidence and blood and whatever else that they have on those clothes. Candace made it abundantly clear that she washed clothes that day. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know about y'all, but she doesn't strike me as one of those, I'm staying on laundry and I'm washing clothes every day and I'm getting, no. We've all seen the inside of that house with Chris McDonough. That thing was a hellhole. Why did she have to make it abundantly clear that she did laundry? I wonder if LE even thought that was interesting or not. Probably not, because they don't pay attention to anything in this case. You know, my whole thought process on this whole case is it's a clusterfuck of dropping the ball. Starting with when Candace was pregnant with Summer, and Dawn hit her, and that first domestic violence call went in. Elise should have contacted the state, and the state should have stepped in. Because it happened again with Jose. Why did law enforcement never step in and contact the Department of Children and Families? That is their obligated duty. Yes, a woman being domestic violence done to them is a danger to their children, because the father could start doing it to the children. And if the mother is a domestic violence victim and she decides she's not going to leave, she's putting her children at risk. Which it is law enforcement's obligated duty to contact the Department of Children and Families. And then going to the Department of Children and Families in Tennessee, why? Why? Can anybody tell me why it is that so many calls went in for Dawn and Candace, yet nothing got done? Don and Candace lost children from prior to each other. Both of them lost their children. How in the hell did they get to keep these kids? Because in Florida, if you lose one kid, that's it, you lose them all. They don't play that game. You lose one child to the state, you lose them all. Every kid you have after that, you lose. It's not the, oh, well, you just abuse these and you can have the rest of them. No. Florida don't play that game. Nope. You lose them all. How is it that Don and Candace didn't lose those children? And the whole haircutting scenario. And yes, I'm basically going through the year of my problems with this whole thing. The haircutting thing. Did anybody else notice that Wyatt had long hair when Summer had no hair? Waylon and Josie did too. All of them had it. Josie had really long hair. But yet Summer was shaved bald. Alright, I'm going to give you an inside scoop on me. When I was 5 years old, I had hair literally down to the back of my knee. But when it was curly, it was to my butt. Because my hair is really kinky curly. And it's very, very thick. I'm Puerto Rican, so it's really thick hair. I was 5 years old, and my new stepmom was mad at me because I wouldn't brush my hair. I'm 5. My hair is to the back of my knee. How am I supposed to be able to get a brush through it? At 5. Well, she decided to make an example of me. So, guess what my stepmom did to me? She cut my hair like a boy's. And everybody laughed at me. Because I looked like a little boy at school. And I was mortified. And we all know Candace is jealous of Summer. And it's kind of funny that first they say that Summer wanted her hair short like her mom and her brothers. Yet they didn't have short hair. And then, in the same aspect of saying she wanted her hair like her mom, then Dawn says, oh, well, she cut her hair so that Summer wouldn't be upset anymore. Okay. Wait, Dawn. Let me get this straight. In the same sentence, you tell me that she wanted her hair short like her mom and her brothers, which neither one of them had short hair at the time. But then you change it to, well, the mom cut her hair so she wouldn't be upset anymore. Well, why was she upset in the first place then, Dawn? Why did her hair get cut in the first place then? Like, that makes no sense to me. And another thing that I really truly don't understand about this case is the tight-lipped Ellie. Okay, several cases, and I am 45 years old, so I've seen a lot of cases. A lot of cases. They do tell you more than what Ellie and Hawkins County is telling us. They are telling us absolutely nothing. There was basically a waste of time on the 1-year anniversary for Summer. It was a waste of time. They basically sat there deflecting questions and telling us the same bullshit crap hole that they've been telling us for the year. I.e., my finger's been up my ass. We have no information. Now, here's my question. Does anybody know if anybody in law enforcement has said if Summer was seen on the video camera that was right there where the turning is to go to the watering hole or at the Walgreens? Does anybody know? Or even at any of the other shops? Has there ever been anything that said that Summer was seen that day? Or are we just going by, that's what we think? I mean, I find it astronomically crazy that law enforcement won't tell us anything. You can say things about a case and not give away evidence. But they aren't giving out anything. And to me, I'm sorry, but Hawkins County has lost officers due to child pornography. So has Kingsport. And this was in the last few years. I find it interesting that Ronnie Lawson was on the scene of a missing child. He's the chief of police. Okay, there's a 10-year-old child that went missing in Hawkins County as well. Ronnie Lawson wasn't on that scene. But yet he was on Summers. Why? What was the chief of police doing on a random child's missing? Why? What does he have so enveloped in that family that he had to be on scene that day? And then I had someone that's in that Bear Creek area tell me, because she's one of the neighbors, that he didn't even stay on the property that long. And I can't help but wonder if maybe there's no 911 tape at all. What if Dawn and Candace called Ronnie Lawson instead of calling 911? And Ronnie Lawson dispatched the police? I mean, it's a thought. Because I'm sorry, there's nothing normal about this case. Nothing. All the red flags that were there all these years, no one did anything. Ellie being mum about everything. I'm sorry, but I firmly believe that the Supreme Court or the FBI needs to look into Hawkins County. I do not trust them. I find it very odd that the lead detective of the case goes, oh, I don't know how to handle all these, other law enforcement's helping out. Okay, me personally, if I'm a law officer, I'm like, I'm so grateful that we have all these people coming in to help us find this precious little girl. But instead of being grateful, he doesn't know how to handle it. You handle it by saying, thank you, help us get this child found. I mean, common sense, right, guys? I mean, really, right? And then I think about Michelle Walks, or Michelle After Dark, whatever one you want to watch. And she went from, oh, the parents are guilty, to they're innocent, which I've never seen that in this whole case. Anyone go from, the Wells are guilty, to they're innocent. I've seen, the Wells are innocent, to they are guilty. Yes, I'm talking about Skeezy and, a couple other people. But it's like, I've lost a child. I've lost two. I know what true grief is. I know what true pain is. I live it every day. I have that heartache in my heart. And God forbid that my girls went missing instead of dead, because at least, and I hate saying it like this, but at least if they're dead, I know where my daughters are. There's closure for it. I can go to their gravesite and see them. Well, not technically see them, but know where they are. But if they're missing, I would lose my shit. I would be on every channel. I would be on every YouTube. I would be begging, pleading, selling my soul to the devil himself to get my daughters back. I would do whatever I had to get my child back. I don't care. You want me to kill myself? I'll kill myself. Just bring my child home. Whatever it is, I would do. I would be on every channel. I wouldn't be waiting 2 motherfucking weeks to get online. 2 motherfucking weeks to get interviewed. I'm sorry, but Candace doesn't spring me as a person who's so emotional over the disappearance of her child that she just couldn't talk to anybody. Because she didn't show no emotions the entire time, did she, during any of those interviews? The only time she ever showed emotion was when she was highly drunk and highly high. And there was more emotions for her boys than there were Summer. Another thing I found odd about this case is, anyone other than me noticed that the boys never had bruises on them. We're talking boys. They should, have some bruises. I mean, hell, boys are rough, tough. I didn't have a boy, but my daughter was a tomboy, and let me tell you what, she had more bruises than anybody I know, but not on her face. Not in the area Summer did. Okay? But I find it odd that Waylon, Wyatt, and Josie didn't have bruises all over them, but yet, in every picture of Summer, she's got bruises on her face. Isn't that kind of odd? I mean, does Ellie not look at the big picture? The timeline changes. The timeline don't make sense. People get arrested for less than what's going on in this Wells case. The sheer fact that they can't give you a proper account of time is a red flag. The sheer fact that there's really no proof of Summer existence, except for that picture, that video, that could have been taken any date. As long as she uploads it on that day, it's going to have that date on it. Doesn't mean that's the day it was sent. And I find it odd that Candace held onto a fucking phone for 2 weeks. Oh, no, wait, it had been 3 weeks when Chris came up there. 3 weeks after Summer went missing. What the fuck, Ellie? You letting Summer's parents get rid of the evidence? Is that what your goal is? I mean, I honestly believe if this case was in any other state in the world, any country, there would be far more things done right now, and there'd be people in jail already. There is so much injustice in Summer's case. And I have never, in the 45 years I've been alive, seen a case as fucked as this one is. Where you have so many people telling you how abused these children are, and yet you still let the parents be free. Really. We all saw the inside of that house. The cops had come out how many times to that residence? And yet, the department didn't take the kids yet. Why? And what the fuck is the department doing telling her when they're coming over? First and foremost, let me tell you something. In Florida, let me tell you how this works. You get a CPS call, they're not going to tell you when they're coming over. No, they're going to show up. And if you don't open the door, guess what they do? They call the law, and the law makes you open that door. There is no, I'm going to hide and not open the door. No, the cops will break down the door if they have to. If they feel that a child is in danger, they will break your door down, and they will come inside. Florida don't play that game. Tennessee apparently is a bunch of hicks that don't give a flying fuck about children at all. I mean, hell, you got people in Tennessee that are CPS workers that are having kids sleep in fucking office buildings for fuck's sakes. Living out of plastic bags and sleeping on mats on the floor. I mean, what the fuck? Hello, governor, government, president. Well, not Joe Biden because he sucks ass, but, you know, hello? Do we not think this might be a problem? Child protection is supposed to protect, wait for it, the child. And yet you're having little kids sleep on floors. Like the two brothers that were in foster care. And their daycare worker actually called the the caseworker because the little boys had bruises all over their face. They did not remove those two boys, and one of them died at the hands of the foster parent, and they're still not in jail. And that's in Tennessee. I really think that Tennessee should be kicked out of the United States and, like, thrown into another country or something, because, no offense, they suck. Now, I'm not saying the people of Tennessee suck, but the government, the law offices, the Child Protection Agency, they all suck, and they need to be investigated massively. I also don't understand how the Wells can go online and lie constantly and Ellie not set the record straight. Like Dawn going and buying coke and giving it away? Give me the fucking break. Really? And if that's the case, there's something seriously wrong with law enforcement. My personal opinion about law enforcement is this. I believe that, let's think about this. Ronnie Lawson's family member was the head of the, wait for it, drug enforcement agent. Dawn and Kenneth buy drugs. Ronnie Lawson was on that property. Could Dawn and Kenneth have gotten behind and paying Ronnie Lawson drug money and, he got rid of Summer? I mean, just saying. It's kind of funny how nonchalant Ronnie Lawson always is on camera, like he's just so bothered with having to talk. Wow. You know, he is now being charged with nepotism, just so y'all know, because he had a family member above something he shouldn't have. Wow. But another key thing that law enforcement did say that I queued up really quickly, and I turned to my fiance and I said something to him about it. They said there was no evidence of proof of Summer being trafficked outside of Tennessee. However, they never said there was no proof of her being trafficked inside of Tennessee. Just saying. And also, I do not believe Summer went missing on the 15th of June. I really don't. I think because Candace knew that Child Protection Agency was coming in a day or two after Summer went missing, she had to come up with a reason why Summer was gone. Now, it could have been a string of things. It could have been Summer was starved to death because Summer was ghastly skinny for her age. She looked like a concentration camp victim. She was too skinny, especially compared to her siblings. She could have starved to death. She could have fallen off her swing and gotten a, closed head wound. She could have fallen down the stairs. One of her brothers could have accidentally shot her. Or, in a more sickening aspect, which makes me want to vomit, Don could have given her SA, and because he's not a child molesting an SA, or a teenager molesting a child, and an adult man molesting a child, he could have killed her. Or, which is my more go-to, is Candace lost her cool while drunk and high and seriously hurt Summer. And it was fatal. Candace has a temper. We've all seen it. On YouTube everywhere. If she has that much anger towards adults, could you fathom the type of person she is to a child? She didn't even want Summer. And the other aspect of this whole case, 3 people in one family gone missing. Luckily, one of them were found. First, you've got Candace's sister, Rose Bly. Candace claimed she wasn't in that area, but I've heard and also seen some records that Candace was living in Wisconsin at that time that her sister went missing. So that's kind of a lie. And it's funny how the 3 Musketeers were in the same area at the same time as someone going missing. And that comment Donnie made of how Rose was gone with no trace, nothing. She's just gone. And yet that's the way we say about Summer too. Interesting. Then you got Summer's older sister, who, yes, it was said she ran away, but actually it was said that it was a custody kidnapping, basically. So I'm wondering if it was her biological father or not, but she was with an older man when they found her. Okay? And then fast forward to Summer, and now she's gone. What are the odds that many family members are going to go missing in a single family with the same 3 people around? Except for, the daughter that was in foster care didn't really count because they weren't around her, but the other 2, they were. Candace was jealous of Rose. Rose was very much prettier than Candace, much like Summer is. And Candace has one hell of a jealous streak. I really think that they got rid of Rose. And I really think that the law enforcement on both sides are stupid. They're not checking all the T's. They're not dotting all the I's. And then they want to criticize YouTubers and web sleuths for coming up with their own ideas. Well, I'm sorry, but your ideas are shit. You guys ain't got shit. Oh, wait. I know what happened to Summer, guys. According to law enforcement, there was no proof of kidnapping. There was no proof of foul play. There was no proof of sex trafficking. There was no proof of this. You know what it was? Wait for it, guys. I got the answer. I know what happened to Summer. Aliens have abducted her. That's what it was. I mean, because that's basically all LA's given us. I mean, I'm sorry, there's no proof of anything. There's proof. There is proof of every one of those scenarios, guys. You know how? Summer's gone. Summer's nowhere to be found. That's proof enough. Regardless if it's a kidnapping and Candace's fat, lazy ass was asleep because she was high and drunk and Summer went out and someone grabbed her, which I highly doubt, but hey, it could happen. So she's guilty of neglect, regardless. What about the fact of sex trafficking? How are you going to know there's no proof? How are you going to know? And I'm sorry, if Summer walked off into the forest, they called them, allegedly, 10 minutes after Summer went missing. So don't you think they would have found her within 10 minutes? As many people as that was there. I mean, there's a lot of law enforcement there. So you cannot tell me that they wouldn't have found that little girl in 10 minutes. And if, God forbid, an animal had gotten a hold of Summer, there would have been evidence of ripped clothing, blood, god-awful other stuff I don't want to say because it'd make me cry, there'd be evidence of it. And how the fucking hell... and it just cracks me up, the whole planting flowers. I'm sorry, a cactus isn't a flower, just so everybody knows this. And if you guys didn't notice, when you watch the videos with Chris McDonough, it's funny how in the beginning videos, those cactuses look like shit. Like they just sat there forever in some of the beginning videos of the interviews. And then as it progresses, oh, the cactus look really nicely planted and really pretty. Interesting, huh? I find it odd how that detail gets left out of Ellie's noticement. You know, just saying. But there isn't any evidence of anything. There really isn't any evidence of nothing. And here's where her problem. You planted flowers? Okay. Your mom went to the hospital. That's what you claim. You guys went and took your mom to the hospital. Well, when you're at the hospital, the doctors are going to put on the knee brace. You don't have to do it. Especially if they give her a shot. They would have put a knee brace on her. They would have wheeled her out in a wheelchair, you know, because she had narcotics in her, to the truck. Why would Grandis need to fix her kneecap? And also, why was Grandis not on any of the videos of Summer that day? Candace made sure she got Hunter, made sure she got Summer. She didn't get herself, and she didn't get Grandis. Was Grandis even there at the watering hole? Because if y'all recall, on that video with Grandis talking, she was, I think it was the watering hole. If that was the last place you were with your granddaughter, and then she went missing, don't you think you'd remember where she went? Just saying, I'm a grandmother, I would. I'd remember every second of the day. I remember everything leading up to my daughter's death. Everything. It's burned in my memory. So I find it odd that Grandis can't remember, and I find it odd that Grandis wasn't on camera, and I find it odd that Candace would take her mother, who just got a shot for her knee, down to a very difficult place to get to the water after she went to the doctor. Don't you guys think that's kind of odd? And has anyone ever noticed how the script is like a rehearsed line every time they say it? We went to the watering hole, we da-da-da, we got home, we planted flowers, we da-da-da-da, we did this. But yet she remembers exactly that she only went into the store for 2 minutes. Or for 5 minutes, sorry, 5 minutes. And then she only went in, she walked away from the house for 2 minutes. But yet, Candace can't remember that much when she's having fun and she's trying to have a good time. But she can remember 2 minutes. Interesting. And if you guys were out in the yard, as you said you were, fixing your mom's brace that had just gotten put on by doctors, so I don't know why you'd need to fix it. But okay. Don't you think Candace and Grandis, who had a 365-degree view of the yard, would have saw someone coming up? Would have heard someone coming up? Interesting, isn't it? How did they not hear it? How did they not see it? You can't sneak around woods that quietly. I'm sorry, you can't. And not with all those dogs on the property either. And if Summer had ran out and wandered off, without no shoes on, by the way, into thicketed stickers and everything else under the sun, yeah, right. Don't you think the dogs would have followed her? And started crying when she walked away? I do. I had dogs as a kid. They followed us, and if we went too far, they'd start whining and trying to get my dad to come get us. So, interesting how that's not the case. And, you know, as many dogs as there was on that property, I don't think they would have barked if somebody came up to the property. I mean, honestly, what does law enforcement think happened to Summer? Honestly. You cannot possibly think that Summer just walked away and would have gotten lost that easily and never been found. Not a shred of evidence of her anywhere. And another thing that really bothered me about this case over the year, why did Candace get rid of Summer's clothes? Almost all her belongings were gone when Chris McDonough went in the house. And we saw the hellhole that the dungeon Summer lived in. But yeah, her belongings were gone. Why? I still have my daughter's blanket well, let's see, it's been 27 years now. You can get rid of it. I still have it. Why would Candace get rid of her daughter's stuff? I'd want to hold on to everything of my daughter's. But Candace doesn't care. And why did they always use past tense? Always. They were more worried about what people thought of them than trying to find their child. Why? Because they were reserved to the fact that they know she's not coming back. I'm sorry, but Donnie, on resurrection morning, you're not going to be in the gates of heaven. You're going to be burning in the pits of hell. Along with that whore wife of yours. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to call her out. And I don't care if I get monetized for it or not. Fuck it. Demonetized, sorry. Still learning the terminology. Candace is a whore. She's a whore for the way she treated her kids. She's a whore for the way she is. And she's a sick person for being the way she is. She's a circus freak, alright. And she allowed her son to be abused. She allowed her daughter to be abused. She allowed hers and Donnie's kids to be abused, and she abused them. Not the boys as much, because they're not as important. They're not the ones that are the veil of her hate. That would go this summer. And those milk bottles. I'm going to end it with those. That last picture. That video didn't even sound like Grandis. Not at all. Grandis has a raspy voice. That person did not. When you buy milk in the store and you're transporting it home, everything around those bottles is wet because there's so much condensation from it being taken out of the refrigerator. They had just supposedly picked up those bottles of milk, and yet they're bone dry. The seat is bone dry. Summer's head is bone dry. Not to mention, Summer's clean, and that water, like I said, is filthy at the watering hole. How is she that clean? I'm sorry. When Blowhorn Betty got out of the water, her legs were filthy dirty. There's no way Summer could be that clean. And one last thing about that picture. If you get that picture and you magnify it to where the seatbelt is, there is a red stain on the seatbelt and on Summer's middle section. Some people want to say, oh, it's just the sushi or the soda. No. Summer's sushi was either blue or grape. I can't remember exactly which one it was, but it was not red. Orange soda doesn't make a red mark. Candace adamantly said they didn't get anything to eat. So why is there a blood stain looking mark on Summer's midsection and it leaked on the seatbelt? Why? Why are those milk jugs bone dry if you just got them and they weren't condensating? Why? And why do I not believe that picture was taken that day? You think about everything that this case has said, and all the lies, and all the bullshit, and how Ellie wants to talk crap about YouTubers, but what's funny is, several cases have been solved by YouTubers, and people on the internet. So, we're not stupid. We look outside of the box. We take the binders off, because Ellie has got it in their head that Summer wandered off. That was what the lady from the FBI, the TPI said. They thought she wandered off. Well, I'm sorry, she wandered off like you say she did. Why didn't y'all find her? There's enough of you guys. I mean, hell, that little girl couldn't have gotten that far if she hadn't eaten anything all day. Her sugar must have been low. I mean, damn. She must have been tired because she was out in the water. So, why didn't you find her? And why did Ellie not want Equisearch to come out. They wanted to complain about how much Summer's case costed, yet, Equisearch would have done it for free and brought their own equipment. Ronnie Lawson, why? What was your problem? You afraid they'd find something you hid? I am. I think Summer Moon's case, it needs to go higher up. We need to contact the president, the Supreme Court, something. Because there is something massively foul smelling about this whole case. The fact that Ellie missed the goddamn cell phone for 3 weeks. The fact that these children were being abused and no one made a call. That was in law enforcement when they saw the abuse. And how the CPS just dragged their feet and waited even 3 weeks to take the boys. After all those videos of their parents being drunk on TV and everything else. What the fucking hell, Tennessee? You get the L from me. Because there is something massively wrong with that state. Something massively wrong with Ronnie Lawson. Something massively wrong with TBI. And something massively wrong with the Department of Children and Families in that state. And I believe there needs to be a full investigation. Now, I'm sorry if what I said offended anyone. I don't care. I think Michelle Walks is stupid. I used to have a lot of respect for her, but saying that they went from being guilty to innocent is beyond me. I'm a grieving parent. You don't act the way Dawn and Candace do when your kid's missing. You go out of your mind. You don't pull pranks on your sisters. You don't go online drunk and high and whatever else. You don't do that shit when your child is fucking missing. And yes, I understand people grieve differently, but no fucking hell no. You don't act like that. No mother would. Unless there's someone like Letisa. You know, like Gannon's mom. Stepmom? Yep. Funny. How Candace reminds me of all those guilty step-parents with her behavior. And yet Ellie is sitting there with her thumb up their ass doing absolutely fucking nothing and having not a goddamn bit of anything to tell us. Oh, I just thought I'd tell you, yeah, we're trying hard, we're not going to stop, it's not cold, da-da-da-da. Wow, can you come up with anything new on the year anniversary? Oh, no, wait, you can't, because you have nothing. You can't tell us if, yes, we saw Summer on a video taken that day. Like, you couldn't say that at least. That wouldn't fuck up your case. But yet you give us nothing new. Nothing. Oh, we can't talk about the boys. Oh, we can't talk about this. Oh, we'll deflect. Guys, I have a fear Summer is never going to be found. And I have a strange suspect that Ronnie Lawson, Donnie Wells, Candace Bly Wells, and Grandis are behind Summer going missing. And I think unless we get people higher than the people in Tennessee involved, we'll never get answers for Summer missing. And that is just my thoughts. You can take it, you can leave it. I don't care. I know something is wrong in that state, and we need to do something for Summer. We need to make higher authorities aware of Ronnie Lawson, because he's a snake in the grass.